Hey, welcome back to another Monday. Here we are, another bold biz chance. Boy, nothing like the host opening up a show and tripping over her words. I'm just so excited. I've got Lisa Lamont here with me today, and I love Lisa. Lisa and I've been connected in social media for a while, but I feel like we're more than just connected on social media. I feel like she lives next door to me or something. And I'm hoping by the end of the show, you all will feel the same way as well. But before we bring Lisa out, as she's sitting nice and comfy, cozy in our Bold Radio green room, drinking her choice of beverage out back there, we got a couple things to go over here. Welcome back. Again, we're broadcasting live here at Bold Radio Station. Stop on by. Doesn't always have to be for like my show. Come check out all the other hosts. We've got some amazing shows and amazing hosts. We cover everything from interpersonal growth to business development to marketing to sales to wanting more in your life. And oh my gosh, we've got a new show coming on next month in October here, which is not too far off, where we're dealing with women's health issues as women age, which we don't have a show like that. And I'm really excited about that. Two dynamic co-hosts are going to be leading that. And we have just got a lot going on over here at Bold. So stop on by and check us on out and say hey and say hi and share and whatever. We really appreciate that. Big shout out to the team. The producers, the engineers, I like to call them producers, engineers, the hotshot guys, Damian and Nesha. They do everything humanly possible to get these shows up and out the door. And then, of course, we've got Ingrid, who's our director of operations. And we don't even like to call her director of operations. She's the mama glue. She's the mama glue of Bold Radio. She holds it all together. So big shout out to them. Big, huge hug today. But before we bring out our amazing guest, Lisa Lamont, Lisa, I know you can hear me. I just feel like I'm in this giddy little girl. I'm so excited to have Lisa on the show. I've been waiting for this show, but before we bring Lisa out, and I promise everybody we will get some amazing content across because Lisa's amazing. But before we bring her out, I'd like to take a quick break here to one of our sponsors for this Bold Biz Chat show. And he's a big supporter of Bold Radio Station. So sit tight, everybody, and we will be right back.
Want the perfect dog leash? Get a Razor Canine leash. Forget about leather. They wear out and break or stain your hands when they get wet. And nylon leashes are too rough on your skin. But not a Razor Canine leash. They're made with a smooth texture or a super grip. They're waterproof, extremely durable, and the colors won't rub off on your hands. Walk your dog with class with a made in the USA Razor Canine leash. The stitching and riveting design was developed by a professional dog trainer. Check them out at razorcanine.com.
Welcome back. Yes, real quickly, these dog leashes are amazing. And I know a lot of you out there in the cyber world or even right here in my backyard, everybody knows that I have a love of my life, which is, her name is Grace. And, I swear by this leash. It is a rubber leash. There's a local man, him and his wife are making these leashes right here in their home. And Ray is Uncle Ray to Grace. He is amazing. He's over the top, extremely focused on detail with these leashes. And all of you out there listening, if you have a dog, go over to razorcanine.com and get yourself a leash. And by the way, from now and through the end of the year, 100% money back guarantee to all Bold listeners for this leash. You just have to cover the shipping, which is not much if you're here in the United States. And get this leash. This leash is just amazing. I love it. All right, enough of the leash. I want to jump right on in. Lisa, I want to bring you on out. Come on down, girl. I'm so glad to have you here on the show today. Welcome.
Hey, Kim. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so excited. I got up early this morning and I got all my makeup on and ready. I got a fun little outfit to keep me all energized for your show. So thank you for having me on today.
Boy, you know what? Lisa, that's so funny. I love it. Talk about showing up, because this is audio. We're not doing video. So, I mean, for all we know, we could be in our jammies, but you really show up. You're so serious and you just show up. You get into the groove, you get into the move, and you just show up, makeup on, nice outfit, to get yourself going. And quite frankly, Lisa, this is a very biased opinion of me. You seriously could show up in your pajamas and have your hair undone and no makeup on, and you still have an amazing energy. So thank you so much for doing that, and welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you. As an entrepreneur, I've been in business for almost 7 years, and I share with people that when we take the time, and you're right, I could show up in my pajamas and nobody would know, no makeup and have my hair undone. But there is something about a shift of our energy when we take that time, because I'm showing up for the people that are listening, and they're important. Your followers, your listeners, I respect them, and I think it's important that I show up with my best game face on. And so when I take that time and start my day doing my mirror love, which I hope we can talk about that today, and do our affirmations, I affirmed that we were going to have a great show today and give lots of content to the listeners. So that's why I'm here, showing up the way I am. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So let's jump in. Let's just jump right in and talk about this mirror love, because I know when I hear mirror love, I think of you. Talk about branding. I think of you. Someone could walk down the street and go, "Hey, mirror love," and I'm like, "Hey, you must know Lisa Lamont." I mean, talk about branding. Because that, when I hear those two words, Lisa Lamont comes to my mind. So what is mirror love, Lisa?
Well, mirror love, I don't know if your listeners have heard of Louise Hay. And I read one of her books, You Can Heal Your Life. It was probably 10, maybe even 15 years ago. And she talked in her book about the power of doing, and she called it mirror work. That's what she refers it to, as mirror work. And it's about doing affirmations out loud in front of the mirror, because a lot of my clients, a lot of women I talk to, when they look in the mirror, they're critical. They see flaws, they see imperfections, they have all these thoughts that run through our head every day. And so I teach women how to embrace the beautiful side of them when they look into the mirror, to see this wonderful, this sexy, this happy, this vibrant prancing kitten. As I say, I have a women's group called Prancing Kittens, and it's about teaching ourselves to love ourselves first. Because when we apply that self-love to begin the day and say these wonderful affirmations of whatever it is that we want to bring into our life, it then becomes about everybody else. And so it's about starting each day on what do you want to attract into your life, kind of like the law of attraction.
Louis, I was reading, I read a book that Cheryl Richards co-authored with Louise Hayes. It was so cool reading this book. And I just lost the title to it. And I love her, Cheryl, by the way. I love her style of writing. I'm very particular with styles of writing. Not because of the author being good or bad. It's because of me. I like read word for word verbatim, and I'm just a very much more slower absorbing reader. So it's got to be a very easy read for me. Like, for an example, Marianne Williamson, I can listen to her talk all day long. I cannot handle reading her books. It's just her style of writing that doesn't sit with me. But Cheryl Richardson really writes beautifully. And it was so cool reading this book. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm flying out to California. I'm going to meet Louise Hayes. Oh my God, I'm so nervous." It was really neat. But she shared one of the things that Louise does with those mirrors is there's mirrors all over her house. There's a small mirror on her desk where she works that's on a stand. You can go to Bed Bath & Beyond and buy one of those, Target or whatever. Probably even find one at the dollar store. She will take breaks and talk to herself with positive affirmations, and it's really sad, Lisa, with this, the mirror love that you were talking about. And, and I know you gear it a lot towards women, even though I'm sure men do this and it probably looks differently than what women, but our society puts such messed up pressures on women. Women look in mirrors and they go, "Oh my God, I got cellulite. Oh my God, I put on a couple pounds. Oh my God, I've gone through menopause and now I've got this little curve." But ooh, I want to be straight. I want to look like I did in high school. I hear that a lot because I have a fitness business. I hear so many women go, I just want to look like I did in high school. And I'm like, why? You're 50 years old. I mean, so that hate when we look into that mirror. I mean, oh, my hair's this. Oh my God, I got gray. It's like, but it's part of the aging process. And how do we learn to love ourselves as we are aging in the moment, the acceptance? I hear it from a lot women doing that to themselves.
Yeah. Well, one of the tools that I use, I'm a certified hypnotherapist here in the state of Washington, and so when I go and I talk to a lot of groups, mostly women, but I talk to both men and women because this applies for both sexes. But one of the things I teach people is media really warps our mind. Media shows us unrealistic people. They show a select few, the models, the commercials, they're all these what society has told us. We've been told these are beautiful people. And that's what we're being sold on because they want us to feel inferior. We have over 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day that run through our head, Kim, and 70% of those thoughts for the majority of people are negative thoughts. They're negative self-talking thoughts. And so when you think about how we've been duped by the media, by peer pressure and all these things that are unrealistic, when we finally get that when we look into the mirror and we realize that I don't care how your spiritual beliefs are, whether you believe in God or Buddha, flying dragon, it doesn't matter. But when you can look into the mirror and you can realize that you were created beautifully and perfectly, there are no flaws. None of us have a flaw. It's the stories we've been told. And
Yep.
some of those stories aren't true. And so when I look into the mirror at 58 years of age and I don't see wrinkles anymore, what I see is wisdom. I see all the years' experience that I've had, life's experience, both positive and not so positive, but they have created me into being the wonderful woman that I am today. And that has taken a lot of time to work on that. So I tell people that do mirror love, I say, look into the mirror and say your name out loud. So you'd be looking into the mirror and you'd be saying, Kim, I love you. What good may I do for you today? And then after that, you're going to say all wonderful things to yourself.
Mm-hmm. You're right. I didn't realize the actual statistics of that 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day and only 70%. I thought that 70% of the out of those thoughts being negative, I thought that percentage was a lot higher. But you're right. We're so miraculous. I teach an 8-week leadership course for this nonprofit here, Lisa, locally. And the first week, I mean, these kids are coming in, and these are not necessarily kids that are failing in school, that it's inside the school, the public school district, or whoever brings it into the school. They're not necessarily failing. They may be honor roll society kids with so much pressure on themselves. And then, the parents are divorced and they're dealing with personal stuff at home, and maybe socially they're not developing properly and correctly. So this can be from someone who's failing to honor roll student. But the first week we teach them is for them to look on their hand. And by the way, Lisa, everybody has this on their hands, the lines in the palm of our hands. There's an M on everybody's hand, and that is because we're miraculous. We are miracles. Everybody has an M on their hand with the lines, and we teach the kids that. And so when we get to graduation, a lot of the kids will say, oh my God, my most favorite thing, they gave us an M on our hand. We're miraculous because we're giving them tools throughout the 8 weeks to uplift their confidence and, tool belt, a life of tool belt. But yeah, I mean, your mirror love reminds me of the other M on the palm of the hand, how we're miraculous. And then we teach the kids, flip that upside down, flip it upside down, and when you have a W, you're wonderful, and you would not believe the amazing words these kids come up with, with the M and with the W's. But that M on our hand is to remind us from the gift of God. And I'm going to say God, and I want to let everyone know I'm not religious, but I'm going to use the word God. That's a reminder that we are miraculous. And it took 2 human beings to create another human being. And that's why that M is on there.
We are magical. We are a miracle. We're so many things are popping into my
Yep.
head when you say that. And the same thing that we teach our children, and the children, that's so wonderful that you're doing that. But the same thing applies for us as adults today.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
it's never too late to start loving ourselves. It's never too late. I mean, 10 years ago, I was miserable. I was depressed. I was on antidepressants. I just couldn't see straight. And my life changed. I'm telling you, that book helped change my life. It changed everything, how I look at things. But every day we start over. Yesterday's gone, whether it's good or it's bad, no, indifferent. Every day we wake up, it's a new day. It's a fresh start. The slate is clean.
Yes.
And when we can learn to live in the present, miracles happen. Wonderful things show up because we get to decide what kind of a day we're going to have. It's up to us. And that's what we attract.
Yeah, I agree with you, Lisa. And, you know, I really want to kick off here of just two major things that you've just said about living in, you know, we decide. We have the power of choice to decide what our day is going to be like, what our life in this moment is going to be like. And I love that you said that, in this moment. But this moment has got to be without a cell phone, a computer, an iPad, driving down the street, wait a minute, and having conversations, and, you know, because we've become a society. We're very blessed. We're very fortunate to be able to have all this abundance and all this stuff, but we bastardize a lot of that. So I love it. In the present, to be present in the very present moment, to be present, to really step in and realize that we're so miraculous and really get a hold of this mere love and love ourselves. I wanted to add that to what you said. And the other thing, Lisa, is I've said this, it was a while ago on this show, and I can't remember who I said this to, or maybe I was being interviewed somewhere and I said this, but until we learn to love ourselves and literally stand in that mirror completely nude and love ourselves, because I mean that human physical suit that we're living in is here. We're here on borrowed time. I do believe our souls go on, but
absolutely, yes.
Until we completely love ourselves, and I'm going to gear this, Lisa. I'm going to bring this back in just to our gender, women.
Sure.
I cannot, I will not. And nobody on the face of the earth can convince me when a woman shows up who does not love herself, who is blasting herself in the mirror. And I don't care if it's over gray hair or the jeans are too tight and they look like shit or whatever. That woman cannot convince me that she can still show up in another group of women with other group of women and be nice to those women. Because I believe that downplay and that hatefulness towards oneself comes out in other areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And can I add on that? I when people come to me and they say that so and so was mean to me or so was rude to me, I said it's not about you, it's about them. So I wanted to throw that back at what you just said. If somebody isn't nice to us, it has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because they're not happy. When we're happy, like you said, when we are happy and we're living our life to its fullest, then other people's opinions of us should not matter. It should only matter what we think, because when we love ourselves, then we're going to share love with other people. And what's interesting, when people say, I'm just surrounded by negative people, I said, when you shift your thinking, and you will attract loving people into your life. When you are in a loving mode, because there's love or there's fear, all of our other emotions, I truly believe, like Dr. Wayne Dyer said, is connected to either love or fear-based. And when we stay in that love mode, I call it, we will attract loving people. And if somebody shows up in our life that isn't loving, I send them a prayer. I just I do not take it personally. It's hard at times. It's hard when somebody says something that's openly rude to me, because I will defend myself too, not attack. But I also at the same time, I won't allow somebody to be mean to me to my face.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know something, Lisa, it is hard not to take that stuff personally, I'm to a point. I don't get me wrong. I've done a lot of work internally on myself, and I still trip up. I admit it.
We all have.
Yeah, I know.
We all
I trip
do.
up.
We
Yep,
all
yep,
do.
yep, yep, yep.
Absolutely.
But my thing is when I'm, it would be, and I'll use you for an example. Gosh, Lisa, oh my God, that outfit. I just love your outfit. This is how I shop. Where'd you get it? Gotta go get it. Love it. And you're like, yeah, really? Ugh, this whole thing is like, just accept the freaking compliment already. Don't dish that off. Number one. And number two, we could show up and, oh, God, Lisa, God, I'm over this. I'm this and that. And then you respond by taking things so personally. It's like, honey, I'm not even talking about you. I'm about me and the mood I'm in and what happened, So it is very difficult to not take things personally, but we have to, it's like putting up that force field or the hula hoop, whatever you want to call it, the chain link fence, making sure all that stuff is tied tightly so that you aren't linking out and taking things so personally. Because when we do leak out and take things so personally, then we got a cluster, of a mess and nothing gets resolved. Nothing gets resolved.
Oh, that's true. That's very true.
So I have a very priceless question for you, Lisa.
I love those questions.
Yeah, rub those hands together. Ooh. And I know a little bit of this. I don't know the whole story of this, but Lisa Lamont, I want to know how you went from you were in corporate marketing. You were a corporate girl, you're a corporate woman in marketing. How did you make that transition from corporate into Lisa Lamont, the life and business intuitive advisor, not to mention hypnotherapist? Because, and there's a couple other things, author and speaker. And you know what? We just jumped right into the show and I didn't even get to ask you to share everybody who you are and what you do. I was just so excited to interview you. So I just gave a little bit there of what you do and we'll swing back around on that. So my apologies, but
no. People want to know who we are. It isn't what we do. I tell people when I go to networking, I want to get to know about them. What we do for our day job, that's going to come up in the conversation, but just, to find those similar interests. And that's how you and I, we've been communicating using social media and we've become very close. And at the end of the day, what I do and what you do, it really doesn't matter unless it comes up that we could use each other's services. And thank you for asking me. My background is corporate America. I lovingly tell people I used to babysit 500 attorneys for a living in marketing because it was, it was. But I have to tell you, I absolutely love my job. I love the people that I work with. People say bad things about lawyers, and I'm still connected to many, many lawyers. They're human, they're good people, and you're going to find good and bad in all realms. And one of the things I loved about my job was I was in client relations and I did all the sporting event tickets. So here in Washington State, I handled the Seahawks and the Mariners, and so that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. But now for the last 7 years, I've taken off on my own. My law firm that I work for, they brought in a new marketing director who decided, and I support him now. I didn't then, but he decided to bring in his own team of people. And so he replaced, I would say, probably 75% of us with his own people. And, at the time, Kim, I cried. I was angry. He had us read a book called The Execution. It didn't take a rocket scientist to know that our days were numbered. But as a result of that, I had been doing hypnosis on the side for several years. And I was also gifted a unique set of cards by a well-known psychic here in the Pacific Northwest. They're an actual deck of playing cards with writings on them. And I was born intuitive. I saw spirits when I was a little girl. I can connect with the other side. And so these cards that I've been using for over 35 years, they've helped me to give insight to my clients. So people come to me when they want to know what's blocking them or, where should they be going. And then using hypnosis, those are two really unique tools that I use, and business is booming, and I absolutely love it.
Yes, I'm, Lisa, when I do read your background and what I didn't know you as a corporate mama because I did not know you 7 years ago, but God, you went from a very logical, background babysitting, all these lawyers. I love that I've heard you say that before and I laugh every
Yeah,
time and it's so funny into this, like some people consider this like woo woo, and I don't, but
yeah,
at least I know, I'm sure people have said to you, oh, that's pretty woo woo and that's pretty out there, but you're a life and business
sure.
intuitive advisor and a hypnotherapist. And how does that work, especially for us entrepreneurs out there? How does that intuitive advisory and that hypnotherapy work for us?
Well, the part with my intuition, because everyone has intuition, and mine happens to be a little bit more deeper. Even all the years that I was working at the law firm, I would go in and hand an attorney his, the Mariner tickets and that, and I would sometimes get downloads. And I'd say, you have your a case working on such and such. It's going to go in this favor, or I'll walk in and I'll be talking to an attorney, and not all the time. I mean, I worked there many years, and only a few would I ever give insight to. But even then, I would get downloads on people. I just do. When I meet people, I will get a download, but I don't just blurt out because it's everyone is doing their life. So unless they come to me, I can't share that with them, and that's hard, because I'm just like, I want to help you and I want to see you. And so my cards really give me the direction. They work with my intuition, because if somebody wants a reading, whether it be over the phone or in person or on the, Zoom conference, Skype, the cards help me help them. So if they want to contact me because they want to know about something in business or their love life, I might turn over a card that's referring to maybe a parent or a relationship. And so when that comes up, it helps me talk about that, because that might be what's blocking them. Maybe somebody's like going, I just can't get past this. And then I will ask them, what was your relationship like with your mother growing up? What was that like? Oh, she's critical. She still is. And so that helps me help them to find out what is blocking them. And then after I do the card reading, I create a custom hypnosis audio, because I'm a hypnotherapist, and I create a beautiful, beautiful hypnosis audio to take them to a sanctuary, a private beach in Hawaii, if that's what they like. And we remove all those old thoughts, those old stories that no longer serve them, and I replace them with energy and positive, that you wake up energized and you're confident. So it's rewriting the scripts. And so I tell people I don't actually hypnotize them. I believe I unhypnotize them. I help them remove those thoughts, those stories that they don't want to carry around with them anymore.
So does a client of yours, Lisa, do they have to go through multiple hypnotherapy sessions with you, or is this pretty much a really quick, high leveraging, instant result kind of a thing?
Well, for the first time when I do a reading for the people, for my clients, it's usually about 60 to 90 minutes. So that's a pretty deep, reading. And then I create a custom hypnosis, like other hypnotherapists. They have you come back once a week. I do it all in one audio. So I send it to them. Now, does that mean that they don't come back to me? Some people do. Some people have new things that show up in their life. Some people, 6 months from now, they've had, life things have changed and they want a new reading, or they love their hypnosis audio that they want to do something different. So I create a new hypnosis, or I do follow-up readings. But a lot of people, they only need to come one time. My goal is for people not to need me.
Yeah, you want to talk yourself out of a job, so to speak, as opposed to keep lingering people on and lingering people on and lingering people on and linger. Many, many years ago, Lisa, I sought out this woman here locally. She no longer lives here. She's down in the Carolinas, and she was a therapist, because I was having a lot of issues with hormonal and my anxiety and, trying to manage it all. And it was getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I remember my first time going into her, she looked at me, she goes, I'm just going to let you know, I'm going to talk myself out of a job. And I went, What? I have never heard that before. And that's exactly what she was doing. She didn't want any of her clients staying here for years and years and years and years and years on
Wow.
end. So and I was very impressed with that. And I'm very impressed with you as well, who you're literally trying to talk yourself out of a job, so to speak. Everybody listening to me say that, it is just a term of endearment. Please, it's just a term of endearment, and don't take that wrong. But that is really neat. Why do you think we hang on, Lisa? I know that's like our mentor, our parents and how we're raised. It's like our mentoring. It's like our that's how we're molded. Why do we hang on to that? Especially being adults now. We're all growing up and have our big pants on, and, we go into our corporate world of our careers or our businesses or whatever. Why do you think we still hang on to all of that?
Well, because a lot, I talk about the subconscious mind. I love to talk about our mindset. 90% of what we do is out of our subconscious mind. We're only 10% in our conscious reality. When we drive our cars, when we go to the store, everything we do is just like automatic. And so we replay like 90% of what we're thinking and doing today is going to carry over into tomorrow. So we just keep doing things out of habit. And if my clients still have something like in high school, I was called chicken legs. That was, I was very thin. I was 5'7". I weighed 115 pounds. And I was just naturally very thin. I was athletic, but I was teased. And so even though that was maybe said to me a dozen times, I guarantee you, Kim, I've replayed that in my mind thousands and thousands of times. Mm-hmm. And so when we're critical in the mirror and we see someone who's fat or gray hair or wrinkles, we've replayed that script over and over and over and over. So when I give the assignment for people, and I challenge the people listening today, when we do mirror love, and you look in the mirror and you say, I love you, what good may I do for you today, and follow and say affirmations like, today I'm going to be gratitude, today I'm going to reach out to a friend, today I'm going to have a great interview with Kim. If we do that consistently and make that a habit, once again, you hear 21 days to break a habit. Well, it takes at least double that, Kim, to create a new habit.
Yes.
So in order to incorporate self-love, it doesn't just happen overnight. And we go back to our old habit. We forget. So it's pushing through and making a habit of loving ourselves. That's how we change our lives.
It's interesting. What your nickname was, my nickname, and my before married name, and I use it. Everyone knows it. Boudreaux. My nickname in high school was Bubble Butt Boudreaux. They used to yell this stuff always. Hey, Bubble Butt Boudreaux. Yeah. Okay, man, oh man, let me tell you something. In all the years that I taught aerobics and everything, I used to buy sweatshirts that were medium and largest, and I wear an extra small top. I would buy medium and largest to cover my butt up, and it took years for me to get past that and go, it's okay for me to wear a pair of skin tight yoga pants and a shorter top. And it took years for me to come to that. It's so amazing, what is said to us in what we, wear and take on. Like the most comfortable pair of pajamas. I mean, we wear it. I mean, we wear it. And I see a lot of people can walk out of their homes, and man or woman can walk out of their homes and go and drive home a multiple six-figure business, a six-figure career, and then just frickin' fall apart inside the home. It's like they lose it, in the privacy of their home. It's just, I still to this day, I go, wow. I stay in curiosity for that, and I feel for that person. But it's like, wow, if you can do that great out there, then when you come back home, because home is supposed to be the sacredness of our lives, is okay. And now my opinion is going to be very biased. Reach out to Lisa and do hypnotherapy to undo that, for God's sakes. So many people talk about, Lisa, about work-life balance. There isn't such a thing. First of all, you're never going to get that balance. And work and life is not separate. It's all life. It's just all life. We just have many legs to our life, so it's really landing all of that. Yeah.
I just wanted to jump in, Kim, and
go ahead.
add on when you were called bubble butt. Isn't that interesting? Now today, women are putting padding on to have a bubble butt. If you were ahead of your time, Kim, there's always the media is always shifting and changing what we're supposed to look like. And so, if you were to have that butt today, back then, everyone you would have been like, oh my God, I wish I had Kim's butt, and you'd be strutting it. You'd be wearing leggings, tight ones, and you'd be wearing short shirts, and you go, yeah, look at my, it's so interesting how the perception of what media changes. They change what our shoes look like. They change our colors. I saw the fall colors. I mean, we are absolutely controlled by outside of our own lives, and to be mindful of that and to be aware and realize to be unique is a beautiful thing to do. We don't have to follow the herd to fit in, and when we can do that, Kim, and when we can honor and love ourselves, all of a sudden, all the right people show up. You've shown up in my life. I love you. I cannot wait for you. My whole goal is to meet you in person and give you a big hug live. I love when I get to meet people in person.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. I can't wait to meet you too and give you a big hug. But it's true. I know women are getting butt implants and wearing padding in their parents, and I'm like, rock on, sister, I got a bubble butt. Woohoo, yeah, and I didn't even have to pay for that. That was a gift, you're right. It's all, everything is all perspective. I think what society is, again, especially picking on our gender women, we all need to sit back and just accept ourselves in the moment. I hear so many women that say, I can't leave the house without makeup on. I'm like, for God's sakes, you came into this world without makeup on and you're going to go out without makeup on, so to speak. It's like, who cares if you're running late? Because a lot of times I fly around town with a baseball cap on, I put some chapstick on, and I go because I didn't have that extra 5 minutes in the morning to put some makeup on. I really don't care. I really don't care, but that took me a long time to get to that position, and I think to pull this back around to business, Lisa, I see so many women out there in their businesses. They're still trying and waiting for that A-OK acceptance and trying to be what everyone else is, and how to market their business and how to do this and how to do that. Oh no, I can't do that because this person is. It's like going, who cares? March not to a different beat, but march to your own beat. And be comfortable with. Well, actually, I don't know about you, Lisa, but when I'm changing things up or marching to my own beat, sometimes I get a little, my skin gets a little prickly because I'm stepping out of a comfort zone. But I love it.
Yeah. And we as women especially, and for men that are listening, we're not excluding you. This is something that women we need to come together on this, and we are coming together. It's so true, Kim. It is so true. And we put off like, well, I'll buy it when I get this. Like, I'm going to work with a wardrobe consultant after I lose 50 pounds. Don't wait. Work with people now. And here's what's interesting. As a hypnotherapist, I charge $500 to stop smoking, and that's that's an important thing to do. I have a 90% success rate, and do you know how many people say I can't afford that? That like I can go to somebody else for $50. First of all, how much do you spend a month on cigarettes? How much do you spend in a year on cigarettes? And what is it doing to your health? What about the smell? What about your car? What about your home? It's, people make excuses, and we have to remove those excuses and do today.
Yeah. You're right. Because how much, if you are a cigarette smoker, I don't even know how, I don't smoke. So how much is a pack of cigarettes these days? $7-10? Within
somewhere I've never smoked either. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure in a very short amount of time here, you can, build up to that $500. It's excuses. People live in comfort zones. You're right. And we are not excluding men, by the way. This is not a exclude men type show, but, no. It's just building up that comfort zone and then and all those excuses and everything like that to not, You know, we, quite frankly, and I'm going to just say this, and I don't, Lisa, I don't want to get off the focus of you or the path or anything like that, but we live in a very lazy society. We don't have to be responsible, and we don't have to work for anything. We can quit, we can blame other people, we can blow through red lights, and oh well, there's ramifications, but I'll think about it if it happens. Unfortunately, we live in a society like that. So why not keep smoking? Because God forbid, when we do get emphysema or whatever else with the cigarettes thing, the government's going to help and pay for that. So why should they invest $500 in quit and not live a longer, healthier life for their kids, grandchildren? All that whole rippling effect. So.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm just could have just put my palm on my forehead and went, oh, and by the way, everybody, to take those steps. Well, first of all, $500 investment on myself to me is a no-brainer, number one, because I love to invest in myself. And number two, with the success rate that Lisa's offering, Lisa, I've never heard that high of a success rate from anybody, anything. And from a hypnotherapist, from anything, I've never heard that high of a success rate. So kudos to you.
Well, the thing that and I don't want to make this about a stop smoking show because, I have hardly any of my friends that smoke, but the thing that makes my stop smoking, and I do charge more for stop smoking than my regular sessions, and that's because I spend 2 to 3 hours talking to them, because a lot of other hypnotherapists make them feel guilty about smoking, like, oh, it's like licking an ashtray, you smell the smoke bad. No. What I do when I work with Stop Smoking is I tell them that we're going to honor the cigarette, but we're moving forward to a different place. And it's very symbolic, because that cigarette for my clients, that was their best friend. That cigarette was there through rough times, through loss, through grief. And when no one else was there, that cigarette was there for them. And so I work with them to let them know that it's almost ceremonial. It's almost like the, passing, letting go, getting a divorce, but in a very sacred thought process. And that's why I have the success that I do, Kim, because I don't want anyone to feel ashamed for anything that they've done in the past. I've done so many screw-ups in the past. I still make mistakes, but people come to me because I'm safe. I'm under the HIPAA law here in the state of Washington as a certified hypnotherapist. When I do readings, when I work with people, everything's in confidentiality. So nothing that they share with me goes anywhere. And so a lot of people come to me just to know that they're safe to talk to me. I don't judge anybody.
Yep. That's awesome. All right. We have got almost 15 minutes left to this show. And how did you step, Lisa, how did you step from corporate into your business? I mean, to me personally, standing on the outside looking in, you made a complete 180-degree change, but I'm sure it wasn't a complete 180-degree change. I'm sure you were implementing a lot of this before stepping into Lisa Lamont's business. So, I mean, how did you make that transition?
Well, being 51 years of age, being laid off, along with, several of my coworkers, and the money that I made really good money. It was hard to find another job. It's hard as a woman over 50, so this is a great topic to bring up. It is hard to find another job because, one, if it didn't pay as much, they didn't want to hire you because you were overqualified. So at first I did try to look for a job, and it just wasn't panning out. And I just thought, you know what, people, they're like, well, why don't you read cards? Why don't you do hypnosis full time? I've been doing a lot of pro bono hypnosis for people going through chemotherapy, pain management. And so they're going, why don't you do that for a business? And so it kind of fell in my lap. It just kind of flowed that way naturally.
I love that. I love that a lot. All right. We're not done with the show yet, but Lisa, can you share with everybody how they can get in touch with you?
Thank you. I would, first of all, I have a women's group, and there are men that are members too. I don't ever want to leave men out there. It's called Prancing Kittens, and you can find it on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook or go to my website, lisalamont.com. I have a video there on the the landing page that kind of explains a little bit more about what I do so they can learn more about me. But I would love to connect on Facebook too. That's my number one platform I love to use, and also on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn too. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, my pleasure. Everyone listening, please get on out there and connect with Lisa. Track her down and connect with her. She's amazing. You are, Lisa. You really are amazing. I'm a fan. If you haven't noticed, I am a huge fan. So, with with that being said. What do you have going on?
I'm just laughing. I'm just chuckling here. I'm just chuckling.
I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan. So, with what does Lisa Lamont have going on up her her pretty sleeve, so to speak? What's going on? What do you got coming up that people can get involved in, or to get in front of you or whatever?
Well, this week, as a matter of fact, I'm going to be going to pick up Joey Garrity, that's flying in from California here to Washington, and we are doing 2 separate workshops this week. And I love working with Joey. She's a marketing and branding strategist, and she's an expert. She's worked over 15 years in Hollywood, and so she knows how to get visibility and influence. And so we're a very unlikely pair, me as the intuitive and hypnotherapist, but we've created these really unique workshops that we keep the group small, and Joey teaches them how to get the visibility, but I'm there as the intuitive for the attendees. And so I can pick up on people when they don't understand something, and I will talk on their behalf. I don't point anybody out, and that's why they like to come, because they're safe. They ask me questions about their business, and I give them downloads, my intuition. And I love doing workshops. So we're doing that this week. And then next month, we're flying to London, Ontario, and we're joining Susan Jacobs, and she's hosting our workshop. So we're going to go there. So a lot of exciting things going on in the next 2 months.
Yes, you and I need to talk offline with this London, Ontario, because that is not too far from Detroit, Michigan. I know, and I would love to meet the two of you. I think that's great that Joey's flying in and the two of you are doing a workshop and then you're traveling. I think that's beautiful. It's so nice. It's like the ebb and flow of the two of you, because I know Joey, and she's just so amazing coming from that Hollywood background and stepping into her own business as well. But it's like the two of you have that corporate background, but yet now that you're in your own businesses, she's that strategist and you're this amazing intuitive advisor and hypnotherapist. It's almost like a yin and yang, but you guys are ebbing and flowing together, and it's absolutely beautiful. I can only imagine what the two of you are like in person at one of your workshops. It's got to be dynamic, of course.
Oh, we have such a good time, and the takeaway that, all the information that the attendees get. And if anyone is listening, and if you're interested in having Joey and I come to your city, reach out to me, because we would love to do that. We would love to put a workshop in anybody's city or town that would like to have us come there. We love it. It's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. So with only a couple minutes here, winding down the show, Lisa, are there any last words you would like to get out there and share with everybody, with all of us business owners, us entrepreneurs?
Well, every day that we wake up, we are out of work as an entrepreneur. And just knowing that, it's like, what are we going to do with our day today? And think of yourself as the CEO of your business and your life. And if you were going to go to work tomorrow, Facebook called you up and said, hey, we have an opening for the CEO. What would you do differently with that thought process of like, I'm going to go work at Facebook tomorrow. I've got all these responsibilities. Well, the same thing goes for you as an entrepreneur. Think of yourself as the CEO of your business. And what action steps, if you were going to report to your board of directors, what would you be doing differently than you're doing now? So if you can be gentle with yourself and get in front of the mirror and say those affirmations, say your name followed by I love you, what good may I do for you today, and say the things, the actionable, like today I'm going to reach out to 2 new people I haven't met. Today when I go to a networking event, I'm going to really get to know at least one person. what actionable steps can you do as a business owner, as a CEO, and think of yourself as a CEO. You are beautiful, you are amazing, you are strong, you are courageous. I see that in you. The important thing is for you to be able to see that in you, because no matter what your business is, you deserve the very best.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want to add on, Lisa, is those affirmations. They are so, everyone listening, affirmations are so powerful and they work. You know, I work a lot on affirmations with my clients and they look at me and go, oh, yeah, you know, this is really easy. I used to do it, but I'm not doing that right now. And I'm like, hello, why'd you stop? They work. You know, in that 8-week leadership program, we teach kids the power of the I ams, which is the affirmations. And these kids go wild. You should see the ideas that they come up with when they come to class the following week. Like, I took a Post-it board and all these I am positive affirmation statements for myself on Post-its, and I hung it on my bedroom ceiling. So when I go to bed at night, that's the last I see. When I wake up in the morning, it's the first thing I see. Isn't that amazing?
Wow,
you know,
I love
yes.
that. Great.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I love the Post-its. Like, I'll keep them in my car. I keep them like where I put my makeup on and stuff like that. I think the positive affirmation statements are one of the most simplistic personal tools, and the average human being does not use them. And I know for a fact, Wayne Dyer, may rest in peace, before Wayne Dyer passed, and Jack Canfield's, Tony Robbins, all these high-powered speakers, to this day, before they walk out on stage, they're doing the I am affirmation. They're doing affirmation statements before they come out on stage. They've been doing that for years. They didn't stop just because, famous and big. These affirmation statements, they work. I like using Post-its because if we start getting into that default button where I call it, my personal running train starts going away, I've got it. I'm so visual. I've got it right there in front of me. Oh yeah, I am awesome. I am calm and I am healthy. Like, oh, I got to go to the doctor's appointment. Ooh, I wonder where they go. Oh no, wait a minute. Woohoo! I'm loved. I'm miraculous, and I am healthy. They work.
Yeah.
They really, truly,
They
truly
do.
work. They do. So,
Well, I tell women, Kim, to get out their lipstick and draw a big heart on their mirror to remind them. To keep that heart on the mirror until, 21 days, keep that heart on the mirror for a month and have that reminder, a big heart where you can just see your face in the middle that will remind you to do that. I tell them to do that. So had to throw that in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever it takes, that visual. I love the visual. I'm a very visual person. I like to touch and I'm very visual. So whatever works, but those affirmation statements, and there's so many people out there that have written books on affirmations, on the power of affirmations. Yep. Louise Hayes being one of them.
Yep. Just Google it or go to Pinterest. Go to Pinterest and you can find just go to Pinterest and type in affirmations and you'll get thousands of them that will pop up and give you lots of ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. One more time, Lisa, how can everyone get in touch with you, please?
Well, they can get in touch with me by going to my website, lisalamont.com, and I would love for anybody who wants to ask me questions. I don't pressure anybody. You can call me, and we will talk because I love to get to know new people anyway. Like I said, no pressure. You can find me on Facebook or find my group Prancing Kitten on Facebook, and I'd love to have you join. It's free to be a member.
Oh, I love it. Please, everybody listening, reach out to Lisa. Lisa, I knew this hour went by just way, 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 way too fast. I was so
zippy.
I know. I was just so excited to have you on today. And, I think what I would love for all the listeners to do is to walk away with today's show is you are a very approachable woman. Go ahead and reach out to you there on social media, that you have such an amazing return guarantee rate with the hypnosis. So if by the way, everybody, we all have baggage. We all have baggage. It just depends on, are you tired of carrying that baggage and how heavy is that baggage and how much of that do you want to unload? Reach out to Lisa. She can help you with that. And if you're up there in the Washington area, get on a plane, get in a car. I don't know, hitchhike. I don't care. Get out there to see Lisa and Joey. That is going to be an amazing workshop. But I think what I would love for everyone to take away is, we can transition into anything, but we have our tools, we have our peeps out there, but we as an individual have to reach out. We have to be willing to reach into that tool belt, and reach and do the positive affirmations and, reach out to an intuitive advisor like yourself, Lisa, or go through some hypnotherapy or, and then gather the peeps. Like you've got your Prancing Kitten Facebook group. Get involved with the peeps, because if you're hanging with the negative naysayers, you're going to be a negative naysayer. You're going to hate yourself even more. There is not going to even be such a thing as mirrored love. That mirror is going to be cracked to hell and back. So, so reach
oh, you're
out.
so cute.
I know. Reach out to Lisa. Reach out to me. I mean, gather yourselves around the peeps. And by the way, I'll speak only for myself. I'm not perfect. I like to kick ass. I'm not perfect. I give love, but I kick ass. And I know, Lisa, I know you don't hold judgment. And I know you do nothing but love. And you're just amazing. You need to move to Michigan. I want you living next door to me. Those are my demands.
Ooh, I may have to check it out. I've never been there. That is on my bucket list now. I'm going to add it to my bucket list.
Yeah, all right. Woohoo! All right, Lisa, thank you so much. If you would do me a favor, just make yourself comfortable again in the green room. Let me wrap up the show, and I'll be back around to visit you. And thank you again for joining me. I so appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Kim. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Lisa. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us on another Bold Biz Chats with the amazing Lisa Lamont. I was so giddy when I woke up this morning. Oh, it's Lisa. Lisa's my guest. And reach out to Lisa. I mean, get involved. It doesn't cost anything to get into her Facebook group. So track her down, get to know her, build that amazing relationship with Lisa. Reach out to her. And everybody, get out there and make it a bold biz chat week. If you're feeling a little bit of weakness or something in an area because you got kicked around a little bit last week, reach out. Listen into some of these shows and reach out, because we've all been through it. It will happen again, because that is life. It's part of the ebb and flow in life. But get your peeps surrounded by you to help lift you up in the time when you've been kicked down a couple of times. Or get your peeps around you when you've had an amazing thing happen, and they'll get out the pom-poms from Toys R Us and they'll cheer you on even more. So get out there. Have a great week. We will hear you right back here, same time, same place next week. And thank you for tuning in.